Hi, welcome to this video day, which is all about achieving mental stability when you're trading Forex. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, everyone has heard those well-worn phrases: cut your losses, let your profits run. If you've got a strategy with an edge, you're going to win. Now, many beginners have got good strategies, yet they underestimate how their psychology works against them. Okay, even experienced traders know what they should do at times, yet they don't do what they should do. They lack discipline. It breaks down. They actually know it's breaking down. They still do it. Okay. Now, in terms of overcoming this problem, we're going to be learning from one of the greatest psychological experiments of all time, in my view, also one of the most famous, and looking at a step-by-step process to completely rework your thought process. Now, in relation to this, I'm going to do a short intro, and the technique that we're really going to be discussing in this video I found immensely powerful over the years. Hardly any Forex traders will ever consider it or have considered it, yet many of the great traders have, including market wizards Charles Faulkner and Vic Spirandio, two of the true great traders. Now, just going to show a short intro clip to what the technique is. The clip might strike you as rather strange. I'll explain why I've used it in a moment. It's only about 30 seconds, and note the quote from Vic Spirandio that comes at the end. Right, we'll be back in a few moments to discuss. Back after that short clip. Now, in terms of what we're going to be looking at today, we're going to be looking at secondary conditioners. You can see Vic Spirandio's quote there. I don't know why it works, but so what, it does. He does really know how it works. It's just strange that it does work. When I first tried the technique, I just found it really odd. It actually works because it negates your conditioned response. Now, to give you an example, let's say you're in a Forex trade and you've got a loss and you're letting it run. You don't want to take it. You can lock a secondary conditioner to make you take it. Same as if you're holding a big profit. Okay, you're thinking, oh, it's gone good distance, I've got good profit, maybe it might not run more. You can basically use secondary conditioner to stick to your plan. Now, in terms of that clip of the Rolling Stones doing Give Me Shelter with Lisa Fisher, why did I use that? That's a secondary conditioner for me. Okay, I've used it for 30 years. And what it can do is basically lock a state of confidence in my ability. Now, that will only work for me, and I have to use that conditioner against a certain experience, which I'll explain in a moment, and I have to drop it into my subconscious and then bring it out, which again I'll explain in a moment. But first of all, I want to go through the theory of what we're doing here and why secondary conditioners work. And I just want to show you introduction to probably the most, or one of the most famous psychological experiments on human behavior ever done, which is Pavlov's dogs. Now, most people have heard of it, okay, but very few people who trade Forex actually think about its significance and why it leads us to the conclusion that we can use secondary conditioners to help us achieve mental stability and a disciplined mindset. Now, if you are a person who knows all about conditioned behavior and responses and so forth, you can skip the next 3 minutes. For those of you who don't, watch this clip closely and also the conclusion. Then we're going to go through a simple checklist of tips that you can use to achieve mental stability using secondary conditioners and a few other techniques as well. And then you'll never have a problem with discipline in Forex. You will always have that mental stability that all Forex traders need. So here is the clip. I'm back in a moment to discuss.
Pavlov's aim was to discover what caused saliva to flow. He rerouted the salivary ducts to the outside of his dog's cheek so that he could collect and measure the spittle. Perhaps he thought the production of saliva might be the result of a fixed nervous reflex, like a knee jerk.
5 минут 42,5 секунды.
After taking many measurements of spittle, he confirmed that the dogs drooled automatically when their tongues touched food. He called the response the salivation reflex.
4,5. Хорошая собачка. Я предлагаю поменять собаку.
But his work started to run into trouble. As his dogs became familiar with the experimental routine, they started to fill their cheek tubes before Pavlov had a chance to stimulate their tongues. The dogs were learning to anticipate food. Pavlov tried a new technique. He erected screens so that the dogs couldn't see what was going on. Before passing meat through the hatch, he introduced a stimulus that was totally unrelated to feeding. A ticking metronome. At first, the dog dripped saliva into its cheek tube only when the food appeared. But after a number of trials, the dog began to connect the ticking with the arrival of meat. Soon, the sound alone made the dog drool. Whatever the stimulus, his dogs could soon be conditioned to produce saliva. Pavlov believed that he had discovered how animals learned, even in the wild.
I'll go back up to that short summary there of the work of Ivan Pavlov. Now, in terms of Pavlov, he did his experiment on dogs, okay? Watson and other famous psychologists later on did it on humans, exactly the same results. And basically, what can we learn from that as Forex traders? Well, we're conditioned, okay? Heavily conditioned by the society we live in, and we have certain conditioning that works when we are exposed to risk, uncertainty and money. What we've been conditioned with in society is guaranteed to make us lose in Forex trading. Now, in terms of secondary conditioners, obviously Pavlov was just using another conditioner to get the same response. What we want to do is use a secondary conditioner to basically replace the one that we're conditioned with to get the right response when we're trading Forex. And in terms of this, I just want to go through some of the work of neurolinguistic programming, which, the theory really made anchoring of certain states of mind to help you achieve things very, very popular. And it works, okay? So what I want to do is go through, how we do secondary conditioning to get the right responses. I also want to go through some other mindset tips as well, which will help you achieve that mental stability and discipline that we all need as Forex traders. Right, let's go to a quick storyboard and go through some points in relation to all of this. Right, let's go through achieving mental stability and maintaining it at all times. What I'm going to do obviously discuss secondary conditioners and anchoring, but also going to go through some other tips, which are basically truths or beliefs that if you hold them, ingrain them in your mindset, they will keep you on course. They'll keep you focused, disciplined, and motivated. Let's take point number one. Money brings out greed and fear. In traders, you see it all the time. Greed and fear causes the majority of traders to lose. You've got to keep in mind that our attitude to money is conditioned. It's conditioned by society. Money, has become just so important to so many people. They want money, but they fear losing it, so they're never going to win. Okay, so your attitude to money is totally conditioned. Okay, what you want to do when you trade is you don't focus on the money at all. You focus on the process. You know that if you follow the process, you've got a strategy with an edge, you do the right things, you will make money longer term by default. Okay. Now, ego causes most traders to lose. That's another frequently quoted belief in Forex trading. Ego is a social response. Okay. It's to do with our self-esteem, how we feel in front of others. If you're trading Forex, you don't have to tell anyone about it. If you take a small loss, how do you feel stupid in front of yourself when you know you've got to take small losses to make money? So ego should not even come into it, okay? Most people uncomfortable with risk and uncertainty, okay? Society conditions certainty. We live in ordered societies. And, the people who take risks and fail, the people who don't take risks laugh at them or ridicule them. That's just what you get, But, it shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable. Risk and uncertainty, and I'm coming to three key beliefs here. Risk and uncertainty to be enjoyed. If you don't take any risks in life, then you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. Anyone who achieves things in life, wants to take risks. They want to basically, try things, and they know they have to deal with uncertainty. Also, I think anyone who's used to taking risks and dealing with uncertainty would say, and I would certainly say it, some of my greatest experiences have actually come from disasters, let's say, in terms of business that didn't work or something like that. The actual experience of it, it enriches your life, okay? And you learn from it and you move on to the next one. It's part of living. If you don't take risks and you fear uncertainty, then my own view is you're going to lead a pretty, kind of boring life, okay? So for me, it's to be enjoyed. Losing is the key to winning. It is. We know that. We know we've got to keep those losses small. All we do is follow the process. I think when you come into the Forex markets, just have self-belief. Believe you're going to win. Okay, and think of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which basically teaches, you find out what successful people do and you duplicate what they do. Okay, now, in terms of Forex trading, we know there's many different ways to make money, and we know that Forex trading strategies can be very simple, but read up on the great traders. It's all, in their opinion, to do really mostly with mindset. You just got to have the right mindset. You can go and read books on the great traders and you'll see this. So what you need to duplicate is the right mindset. Anyone can learn a strategy, okay? Big fan of visualization. This goes with self-belief. If you come in believing you're going to win, I think it was Will Smith, great quote. He said, I believe I could drive the space shuttle. Why? Because someone else learned to do it. That's fantastic. Visualize yourself and what you can achieve. So put yourself in the moment where, you've got something that you want to get, from your trading. Okay, and visualize it. I could actually do a whole video on visualization. I think visualization, very underrated tool. Right, let's go to anchoring, because you need to anchor the right state of mind. Now, I used the Rolling Stones earlier on and said it was an anchor to confidence. Why would the Rolling Stones be an anchor to confidence? Well, many, many years ago, I was involved in a court case against a rival company. It was nothing to do with Forex trading, doing dirty tricks against my company. So I decided to take them to court, but didn't have the money for your fancy legal team. I had to do most of the defence myself, okay? And yeah, I did my homework. I had my plan, and I was pretty confident of winning. I had a few doubts, I think. But anyway, we won. And the reason why the song basically resonates with me is because when I was driving away from the court with my friends, okay, we went past them in the car, and that just so happened to be playing on the radio with the official doing a little bit of screaming at the end, and we just sort of shouted at them, exchanged pleasantries really, and drove off. And it's just that time I just felt super confident. Just gone in, executed a plan. It had worked. Come out, that on the radio, just feeling that sort of elation, that confidence, okay? Just a feeling. So I can anchor that. Now, in terms of that anchor, I use it in Forex trading, mostly when sometimes my confidence dips a little, but I use it in life in far worse circumstances than just losing a bit of money at Forex trading. I can anchor my mental state to be very confident, positive, I can achieve. And that's why that anchor is so personal to me. Okay, no one else can use that anchor, of course, because it relates to me, but we can all create anchors. Okay, I'm going to do one here in terms of loss taking. Okay, now what you need to do here is think back, okay, in your life. No pain, no gain. I put, you might have done at some point maybe a diet. You really wanted to lose weight. You went through the short-term pain to get the long-term gain. Or you might have studied hard for a university degree. Yeah, short-term pain of all the work to get that long-term gain. Go back to how you felt when you achieved it. And, the pain was your route to the gain. So you can very much say, when you anchor something like thoughts like that, the small loss is the short-term pain to make the long-term gain. See, you can create anchors from your own life experience. Now, creating anchors, I'll just go through this very quickly, but you can look it up online, find out more about it. What you need to do, you can't just think about it, okay, and expect to become, confident or disciplined or whatever. You need to basically drop the anchor into your subconscious so you can bring up the right emotional response when it is needed. So you basically have to achieve an intense emotional state where you go back in time and focus on the thought. Whole mind, body, spirit should be involved. Then you need to basically drop the stimulus to bring the anchor up when you need it. It must be something unusual. You consciously have to do. Okay, you don't want to bring up the anchor just by accident, because that will basically make it ineffective when it's needed. Okay, so for me, if I'm bringing up an anchor, it's 2 fingers, very hard pressed together, one from each hand. Okay, I have to do that consciously. It's not just like rubbing my chin where I could do it by accident. Okay, now in terms of the stimulus, it could be sound, it can be a physical motion, it can be anything. Let's say you were using some words and in a certain tone to bring up the anchor. You must do not just the words, but the tone must be the same. Okay, you look more up on this. I find it quite hard to explain, actually, and you might have to practice a little bit until the anchor takes hold. Now, I just never really thought it would be as effective as it is. It's extremely effective. I know most traders don't consider it. I think it's a great. It's just an additional tool that you can use, and to keep yourself disciplined. Now, in terms of all the thoughts above and using, your conditioning, your secondary conditioners, your anchors, you must have a long-term plan with achievable goals as well. You've got to have that belief that if you do the right things, you are going to get the result. Okay. And yeah, in terms of Forex trading, set realistic goals. Anyone can do it if they want to. Okay. Now, what I got next, quote coming up, which is a paradox in terms of trading, but true. And it's in terms of what you put into Forex trading is basically what you're going to get out. If you do the right things, okay, you're going to make money. A lot of people are in trading not to make money seriously. They're there just hoping they're going to make money, or a bit of a gamble, or whatever it might be, a bit of excitement. You're taking it seriously. Okay, so people have different motivations for trading Forex. Most people who watch me regularly will guess what the quote coming up is in a moment. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is just basically finish off, just put the quote up and put it over Lisa Fisher, doing that bit from Give Me Shelter, which is anchored in my subconscious. Okay.